Hello, my crafty friends. It's Marie from Mariesvermontcreations, and today is the June collaboration with Michele from Scrap Secrets and Terra from Mayhem Crafty Cards. So I'm just showing you the products that I'm using today. I have some older stamp sets. One is from Rabbit Hole Designs. It's one of the caffeinated critters, and the other one is a very retired stamp set from Stampin' Up. I'm using a piece of watercolor paper and some Brutus Monroe aqua pigment in neon blue. And I should have watered this down because I was hoping to give it like a splatter effect when I smack my hand down, but I didn't really do that, so I'm just using my gloved hand to just pat this ink all the way around. If I were to do it again, I'd probably do it with a watercolor instead and pick it up off of my mat. But I'm going to clean up my mess, and then I'll use that paper towel to dab up some of the excess ink. And then I heat set that off screen just because, I'm an impatient crafter, so I want to get going. Our theme for today was masculine, so I thought I would come up with a masculine card, and I went with kind of a grungy look. So this is like a grunge stamp set from Simon Says Stamp, and I am going to use my VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink for a couple of them, and then a Distress Oxide in a brown color to do the rest of them because it's a caffeinated critter, so I thought having some brown to bring in a coffee look would be appropriate. So I'm just randomly stamping these. I'm not putting them on a block. I'm just using my hand, and I don't care if they're neat because this is the, kind of grungy look that I'm going for. And then there is the Distress Oxide that I'm going to use. And so then I'm going to stamp the dinosaur, the caffeinated critter, in some alcohol safe ink, and then I will do I left the coloring in, but I did speed it up because, again, I am not the one to learn coloring from. So while I work on that, I just thought I'd tell you a little bit about my collaboration. We've been trying to do these monthly. Like I said, it's Michele from Scrap Secrets and Terra from Mayhem Crafty Cards, and I will link their channels down below because I hope that you will go and check them out and show them some love. We come up with a theme, a technique, stamp company, depends on what our mood is for the month. And since Father's Day was this month, and I don't know about you, but we struggle with creating masculine cards, so I thought it might be a good idea to give them a try. I always like to have them in my stash. So if there's a theme or technique you'd like to see us try, definitely feel free to leave us a comment because we are always open to suggestions to see what everyone would like us to do. I can't believe that we're going to be in the planning stages of the Christmas series again because, it's creeping up here. So we're going to have to start planning that. Wow, that's crazy to me. So back to the card, I'm just doing my simple coloring, a few greens. I did the cup in blue, added some brown for the coffee, could be tea, whatever you wanted it to be. I did the dots on the dinosaur, a little bit of a darker green, and then I'm just doing the whole thing in one shade of green. And then to do my shading, I actually take a gray alcohol ink marker, and we'll do like under the eyes, where the arm meets the body, under the cup, anywhere where I think there would be shading, which is not something I am always the best at, so I just kind of wing it at what looks pleasing to my eye. Like the eyelid, I made that darker with the gray just because these are caffeinated critters, so we want them to have I need my coffee look to them, so the eyelids would definitely be darker, and the under eyes would be darker if it was, if I were a dinosaur. This is what it would be, definitely some dark circles. And so then off screen, I am going to fussy cut this out. I keep saying I need to crack out my scan and cut and do a bunch of stamping and actually just cut out some images and have them ready to go, but I have yet to do that. But it is on the list. Otherwise, I'm probably going to get rid of it if I don't use it, because really, what is the point of having this giant machine if I'm not going to use it? Do you have a craft item in your craft room that you have that way, that you needed to have, absolutely wanted, and you don't really use it that much? The newest one has been the electric die cut machine. I struggle with mine. Anyways, I have fussy cut this out, and I have this happy birthday die, which is, I think it came in a card kit from Simon Says Stamp, so I am just using some liquid glue to adhere that down to my panel. And the panel I had in my pack of watercolor paper was already torn like this, so I must have done it for another project, and I really liked that it added to the grunge look, so I went with it and just cut it down so that it would fit my panel. And then once I get my letters all adhered down, I will adhere my dinosaur. Thought about doing an action wobbler, but I went with just gluing it straight down. And then I will adhere the full panel that I have here to an A2 size card base. And I didn't do any further embellishments. You could add some red to the eyes if you wanted to give it even a more tired look. That's definitely something that you could do. You could pop this entire panel up to give it some more dimension if you wanted that. Could add some, shimmer pen to it to give it a little sparkle if you wanted, but since I was going for a masculine look, I thought I'd keep it matte finish and free of embellishments. So that is my project for today. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them for me down below, and I hope that you'll check out the other two channels. And as always, I hope that y'all have a great day.